Good morning from a wonderful but very hot Austin, Texas. Today, I'm going to talk to you about signs that the unfaithful party, or the wayward party, as some people call it, is actually getting it, or is actually safe, or is starting to get safe. Oftentimes, the conversation around safety can be a little bit muddy. Safety in this case just means, the unfaithful is starting to do the work that I've wanted them to do if you're a betrayed. Or, I'm starting to want to let my guard down around the unfaithful or the wayward. It doesn't mean if you're unsafe, divorce is inevitable. It doesn't mean if you're unsafe, your betrayed party is one step out the door. It just means if you want to have your betrayed partner start to move towards you, you're going to be in a position where these things that I'm going to talk about are essential. If you want your betrayed to actually start to move towards you, let their guard down, start to engage with you on a vulnerable level, and start to maybe even do work, these things have to be a part of your life if you are a wayward or unfaithful. Another translation is just, look, when you are an unfaithful and are safe, it means you're getting it. Like you're coming out of the fog, out of the matrix, and the betrayed says, man, they're starting to really get it and do work. And that helps the betrayed want to engage with you, give you another shot, move in your direction, and slowly but surely welcome you back into their heart and life on an intimate level. One of the first signs that the unfaithful is safe is that they are emotionally engaged. Quite honestly, you can tell when an unfaithful is unsafe because they just won't engage. They are constantly inconvenienced at the thought of the betrayed wanting to have a conversation. They are only communicating when they have to. And it's just this begrudging kind of stale conversation. It's just a flatline conversation. They're not engaged. They're not willing. There isn't an excitement, or not even an excitement, because that can be unfair, but there's just not like a engaged, active level of communication from the unfaithful. And the betrayed says, why do I have to make you want to do this? Number two, and I think one of the most significant signs of safety in the mind of the unfaithful and in the life of the unfaithful that the betrayed loves, absolutely loves, is when the unfaithful will take initiative, schedule therapy appointments, sign up for a class, find articles to read, find videos to read. There's an initiative that is flowing out of the unfaithful's life to do work and to get help and to get healthy. They don't have to be babysat. They don't have to be constantly asked, did you read that? Did you read that? Did you read this? Did you watch that video? Did you do anything? Did you book a therapy appointment? Blah, 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 blah. When the unfaithful is getting it, they are showing initiative. Hey, honey, did you read this? I saw this. It's great. I found this article. I found this website. Let's go do this free boot camp at affairrecovery.com. There's initiative. Now, the unfaithful might say, I'm trying, Sam. I know, that's the angry, unfaithful voice. But the betrayed won't do anything. Right, maybe it's going to take some time. Maybe there needs to be consistent safety in your life before they just come running. Maybe they're gun shy. Maybe they're apprehensive and you can't fault them for that. But when you are safe, there's initiative, there's drive, there's a willingness on your end to do your work and couples work. Number three, when we are safe as unfaithful, we are approachable. Now, I know so many betrayed were like, exactly. See, you're unsafe when you're constantly reactive, that you can't be approached to talk about hard things or difficult things without being so reactive. I have to tell you, one of my biggest mistakes early on is I wasn't very approachable. I could be reactive. And it was, here we go again. Can we just let it go? Can we just not talk about it for one day? That's not safety. That is selfishness. That is self-absorption. And that is lack of empathy for what the betrayed is dealing with every single day of their lives, almost 24 hours a day. They are caught in this storm that we, the unfaithful, created. So if we can't be approachable, we're going to start to lose them. If you're an unfaithful, I know that it can be tough, and there can be needs for boundaries and parameters. Maybe when you walk through the door after work is not maybe the best time. Sure, we can talk about all that. And certainly my list today is not exhaustive. But if you can't be approachable, and if there's constant reaction from you and volume and defensiveness, I'm telling you, in front of the eyes of everybody, your therapist, a group leader if you're in a class at affairrecovery.com, bystanders, coaches, they're going to tell you you can't win if you're constantly reactive. Next is the unfaithful is safe when they can show up when it's hard. Man, I get it. Some of you just said, Sam, every day's hard. I know, so show up. Because if you want to heal, you're going to have to do it. But we are experts at it's a hard discussion, so we cower, we run away. We have like a tolerance level before we lose our stuff. It's like, I'll go here, and then once this happens, here comes the wrath and here comes the rage, and it's our job to find out why that happens. If we constantly get angry when there's hard discussions, if there's a hard, tough discussion with your therapist, and you hit a point where you just are unwilling and you shut down, man, I'm telling you, there is no healing with you shutting down. There is no healing if you're going to continually have a ceiling of how much you can talk about, how far you'll go in your own repair work. Showing up when it's hard means that you can be counted upon to do the work you need to do. Can you be counted upon to your family? Can you be counted on when your partner is in a tough spot? Can you engage with them? Can you draw near to them? Can you be close to them? Here's a statement I heard. It's a kick in the teeth. If you're an unfaithful, I'm sorry, but I think there's a lot of truth in it. A therapist, they were even in one of our interviews, said, if the unfaithful would work as hard on their marriage or their relationship and healing it as they did on having an affair, getting away with the affair and trying to not get caught, their recovery work would be phenomenal. And I'm sorry, that's not a condemning statement. It's a picture of how hard we will work when we really want something. And the caveat is, well, I'm not sure if I want this relationship. That's fair. But you're never going to know if you want the relationship unless you do the heavy lifting and the hard work. You can't make an emotional decision and then run out and do work that somehow just supports your emotional decision. Why not do hard work, heavy lifting, engage, work, get expert help, then make a decision that's informed and educated, not based upon emotion or anger or just immense frustration. Finally I'm about to say goodbye. This list is in no way exhaustive. It would take forever, but these are some hard-hitting variables. And the final variable is we are safe as unfaithful, as wayward, when we are confronting ourselves. It doesn't mean we're shaming ourselves. It doesn't mean that we're just constantly degrading and devaluing ourselves at all. No, it means that we are willing to confront the fact that maybe we are insecure. Maybe we have anger issues. Maybe we have childhood trauma that we've never talked about. Maybe we've made some terrible decisions that have to be confronted and that you have to take a bit of a archaeologist approach to sift through the roots and the bones and why did this happen and why did I make the choices that I've made? Maybe it's time that we decide, you know what? I have to get serious about the choices that I've made and find out why. I've got to do the work. I've got to confront myself. I don't need everybody else to push me to do the work that I realize I need to do for my own health, my own healing, my own self-love. It's time that I see the signs. I don't need to be babysat. I don't need to be swaddled by my significant other so that I finally feel coddled enough to do work. No, it's time to be a big girl. It's time to be a big man and say, you know what, I'm an adult. I got to take responsibility for what I've done and graciously, lovingly confront myself. If you can do these things, safety will be a part of your recovery. And maybe, just maybe, your significant other will see it, appreciate it, value it, and move close to you. And if you're doing some of these things, maybe they'll move even closer to you. You can do all these things. You can do hard things. You can absolutely heal.